Hello, everyone. Welcome to the shop rant for 1/26/26. Hope everybody had a good weekend. Everything went well here over the weekend. Had some good bench time. Finished up the peak. Posted everything over on Brian's 3D Marketplace, our Facebook group. So if you guys get a chance, bounce over there, check that out. Also started on the next project, which is the W925. This has been scaled to fit the AMT kit, the W925, the red and white one. Um, Trying to get this scaled to the correct BBC was possible, and but it didn't quite fit on the chassis, and everything didn't look right. And that kit itself is not exact BBC measurements. So I scaled this kit to fit uh, the AMT chassis and everything. So it'd be pretty cool. I think I'm gonna put on a little arrow sleeper and everything on it. Just not a super hard build. Not gonna do too much to it. I'm gonna do paint it orange, paint the body, the cab, and all that. Paint it orange, and then paint the chassis yellow. Uh, shouldn't be too hard. Shouldn't be bad. We'll see. Um, Trying to think what else there. Got some wheels and tires from WC 3D, Wet Coast 3D design. Still looking for some fronts. I'm not sure if I'm going to put heavy fronts on. And then I did also just find a really cool super single file for the back that I forgot I had. Might be putting those on instead. I don't have any on the desk with me, but I have some really cool kind of teardrop fenders that Nahul Customs makes, and I thought about putting super singles on it with those fenders. I think that would look pretty cool. Something a little bit different. Um, we'll see. I doubt it, but we'll see. Other than that, shop's pretty quiet as far as anything bad going on. Printing every day for uh, customer orders, so that's not a bad thing. Printed a lot of stuff for me over the weekend. When I meant quiet, that's what I meant. It was pretty. Everything was pretty straightforward. Finally got the T2000 uh, from Alpha Centauri. Finally got that one up and scaled correctly. That one's been a booger for a while for me. Um, started out as a 1/24 scale file, but when I printed it out, it ended up being close to 1/21st. And I think a lot of the files you see, um, that I see anyway, when I go to do you have your basic mathematical calculation. You reduce a 1/14th scale kit by 56% for 1/25th, yada yada yada, and then you come in and do your final measurements, and then go to your scale calculator and finish it out the rest of the way there. This one here was a booger because it wasn't, not didn't have a day cab to go off of to make all the other measurements fall into place. So the measurement of the entire thing, sleeper and all, without the rear fairings on it, there are two different sizes. One's 183, and I think the other's 190. Don't quote me on that, but I think it was 190. The measurements on this one fit the 183 size better. So that's where I'll go with it, and that's where the measurements line up the best. So finally, after all that, I had a really good printing of everything over the weekend. Did have a couple small failures due to supports. Just had everything angled a little bit wrong. Didn't have a good enough support, so had a couple of failures there. One was on one of the fairings, and another one was on one of the side skirts. Super easy to remedy. I did break one of the cross members, not cross members, but the bar that goes across the front, the top of the windshield. I freaking broke that, put it into the photo booth, and figures. So I took the picture anyway. So that was off the list. I did get that Freightliner listed and posted. Got it scaled correctly down to a 63-inch BBC. Something to go. I kind of want, and like this is no problem or issue with any of the files or anything like that. Uh, a lot of the files you get, I'll use. I have one that is a great example of what I'm trying to say. If I'd ever say it, is I have a power liner, Freightliner power liner. I believe it's an 88-inch cab over. The BBC is dead on for 1/25th scale, but it's too wide and too tall. So you would have to go in and make multiple different changes to it. And then once you do that, you've got to go in and make multiple changes to the uh, the interior to make sure the interior fits, because that has to mirror the changes that you make to the cab, so you don't throw that off to a certain aspect. Um, so there's just some of the issues that you kind of go through, and me not having that much experience, I'm getting a ton better at it. Um, but just something like that is going to end up getting scaled to fit onto one of the AMT chassis. You can get it close to uh, one that's there now, like your one of your Freightliners, and just use the depth dimension, the BBC dimension, and then kind of adjust off of the kit part itself for everything else, and then just adjust. They're hard to adjust to make the interiors fit, because then you do throw it out of whack, scale wise. So just some of the challenges. I also have an Hayes HDX from Alpha as well, and those are monster trucks. I mean, they're huge, all custom built, different size, different configurations, everything. So doing some research, because I'm trying to scale that one as well, and really not a ton of direction where to go, since they were all um, just made to order. So trying to see what some of the other guys are doing that are selling these, and what I've seen is they scale them to fit a certain chassis, whether it's a 1/24th chassis, 1/25th, 1/32nd scale chassis. Great idea there, because that's about all you're going to be able to do. Um, I do have, trying to think of who makes them. I do have a six by six and an 8x8 chassis that I've purchased the files, and was looking to get that one down into 1/25th, so I could make a couple mining and logging trucks. Just come out with a full kit by combining several designers into one kit. So hopefully I'll hear back soon on the design from that. Try and get those down in the scale. Found a couple other things that are really cool. Found a couple dollies. Found some trailers that are pretty sharp. Designer's working on helping me get those to 1/25th right now. Well, not helping me. I've already purchased the file, so he will size those up. They're currently like 1/64th, I believe. So he's working on sizing those up for me. Um, the boom for the wrecker right now is a no-go. I did see this morning on Facebook where there's a couple other people that are getting ready to put booms out, and that's awesome. So that's always a good thing. Still trying. There's a couple of the guys that I'm trying to work with now. I've got a message sent out to one who seemed pretty reactive to helping. So we'll see where that goes. And another one, they pretty much ghosted me. So it's fine. It's fine. It is what it is. So that's what's going on there. Again, nothing much shop wise to talk about. Biggest thing there on the printer side is really worked on slowing the printers down a little bit. I think one of the goal for me in the print room has been to get to 20 printers. One of the main factors for that is I'm a huge math and pattern guy. Everything has a pattern. Everything is tied to a mathematical equation in everything we do. So one of the things that I would like to get to 20 printers on, and the reason for that is to create a pattern to where I can go in, say Sunday morning, set all the printers up, clean them all whenever they're done, 8, 10 hours later, and be done for the day. Come in the next morning, all I would have to do is reset the printers, cure and pack everything that I printed the day before. So, now granted, that's going to be a lot easier said than done. It's kind of busy right now. I'm just looking at orders I'm working on for the day. I'm working on 26 orders for one day. Thank goodness I have 10 day business day lead time on them, because I'm going to need every day of that to make sure I get them all out. But one of the reasons I slowed the printers down was to increase my quality. Couple things that I've seen, been able to correct them fairly easy, but trying to eliminate any quality issues altogether. Changing your speeds, making sure all of my supports are in the right spot. Again, adding some delay time, some light off time, slowing the process down to where things aren't running, so fast and so hard. So another big thing about going to 20 printers, it puts me cleaning once a day, keeps me out of that environment. Always mask up, always double glove. I have VOC cartridges in my respirator. So trying to stay out of that, but just trying to stay away from that exposure as much as possible. I have vitiligo, which is irrelevant, but what has caused that in my body reacts totally differently than some other people would to chemical exposures. I also ran plating in a wastewater treatment shop as a lead man for about 10 years. So a lot of chemical exposure there kind of changed a few things. So my body just reacts a lot quicker and a lot harsher than what some other people might. Just makes it more sensitive. So the more I can stay out of that room in that atmosphere, the better off it is for me. So that's one of the big plans there. That's just a plan for it. To do that, I would have to actually buy racks and have them tier step to where I have printers on the bottom shelf and like a middle shelf, and then hope that I can have enough power in the house to charge all that. But that's something else too. We're looking at houses right now to accommodate growth, to accommodate the shop itself. So that's pretty cool. Been kind of busy after work doing all that stuff, going and looking at houses and everything. So let's see how all that goes. Let's see. What else? Like I said, not a ton of stuff this week. Watched a couple good videos over the weekend, trying to get everything caught back up. So a lot of good information. Over on the Facebook group page on Brian's 3D Marketplace, I posted a question as to what everybody was interested in. Are you interested in the old iron? Are you interested in the new, more modern stuff? It's been, from what I've seen and everything, I didn't go do and survey monkey or anything like that. I just opened it up to conversation. A lot of it has been a lot of the older stuff. There's been guys wanting some new stuff. And I know I promised this T800H a couple months ago. It's coming. I'll get it. Just a lot on the plate. Also, I know Evans asked for a ProStar day cab. I finally found one of those. Currently in test right now is a Lone Star day cab. Just out of test printing and listed over the weekend, and like I said, I just sold 3 of them already. Is that International Workstar day cab. So a lot of good stuff going on there. So there's some more modern stuff coming out. The T2000, I believe, is a 99 or 2. That's a 2000. It's a 2000. So that's out there. I believe the Lone Star is a 21. Same, not sure on the Workstar. The Workstar might be like a 2009 or so. Not 100% sure. But that's some stuff that's in the works. I will do the T800H once the Lone Star is finalized. Um, that's in its first stage of test printing right now. So there'll be one more test print of the cab hood and grill, and that'll finalize the last of the BBC measurements, and then we'll see where we have to go from there widthwise, and see if it just get it scaled or if I can stay at the BBC measurement and it stays all the way across. Um, One of the things, kind of going back to what I was talking about earlier, the designers, they do an awesome job, but they also scale these to fit certain chassis and 1/14 scale stuff, which might be a little bit wider, might be a little more narrower. Every designer has that little disclaimer on their site stating that, make sure you scale this down to what you want your scale to be. So still working on some of that, still getting some of it. The 330, 340 is out there. It's as close as I'm really going to get it. I might need to scale that down a little more, but I really don't think so. The measurement seems straight across, so we'll see how it goes. I've sold several of those already. So, and as always, if you're not satisfied with any of that, all you gotta do is reach out. We can work something out, whether it's, you open a case there with eBay that you don't like it, send it back for a refund. There's no problem with that whatsoever. Um, you know, that part is what it is. Not everybody's gonna like it. Some will, some won't. Just depends on what your thought process is. But let's see what else. Not much else going on. I keep saying that, and then I keep talking. Um, Again, if you guys need anything, holler. Doing a bunch of 1/16 scale stuff. Prices for those are 4 and 5 times higher than what the 1/25 scale listings are. So just keep that in mind. I have no problem doing it if it fits on the build plate. But just kind of keep that in mind. But y'all need anything? Holler. If not, I'll catch you the next time. See you.